Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom L'Kem. Giving all praise and thanks to the Holy One of Israel for sparing our lives this day. And thanking Him for allowing us to be here to observe the Shabbat, to hold holy convocation before Him. May the Creator be with those that are on their way to this place and places such as this. May He be with the brotherhood that is they're on their excursion right now on the waters. May He be with those that are traveling individually. May He continue to comfort those that have lost loved ones. And may Yah continue to bless us here, that we would have a day of peace, a day of rejoicing, a day of joy and happiness. No harm would even come nigh us. Neither would it come nigh those places of worship that we know of. Our families in New York City, in Philadelphia, in Atlanta, Guyana, Trinidad, Barbados, all the places where we are found. May Yah bless us and protect us for His great name's sake. This time we're going to face the Mizracha direction, the eastward direction. We're going to say the prayer that Moshe and the children of Israel, they said while they were traveling in the wilderness. They had stopping points. At some point before they headed out to their next destination, they said these words, asking Yah that He would even rise up even at this time. So let us raise our hands to Yah and let us lift up our voices even at this time. Chuma, Yehovah, Weyafusu Oevecha, Weyanusu Misanecha Mipanecha. Chuma, Yehovah, Weyafusu Oevecha, Weyanusu Misanecha Mipanecha. Chuma, Yehovah, Weyafusu Oevecha, Weyanusu Misanecha Mipanecha. Rise up, O Yah, and let Thine enemies be scattered, and let them that hate Thee flee before Thee. Hallelujah!
Hallelujah!
We say together as a family, as a mishpacha, these words, prayers for daily use. So let us say it even at this time. Baruch Yehovah Baboker, Baruch Yehovah Bezoraim, Baruch Yehovah Be'erev, Baruch Yehovah Belayla, Baruch Yehovah Yom Yom, Baruch Yehovah Tamid, Yehovah Eloheinu B'vakusha, Lisloach Lanu Lekol Devarim, Rahim, Sha'asinu Lefanecha Yom Yom. Ve'liot imanu kol hayom hazeh, Lama'an Shemcha Yehovah, Elohei Abraham, Yitzchak u'Yisrael, Elohei Avotenu Ve'eli, Lishmoa b'kolina, Im Tereseotka, Lama'an Shemcha Yehovah. Blessed be Yah in the morning, blessed be Yah in the afternoon, blessed be Yah in the evening, blessed be Yah in the night, blessed be Yah every day, and blessed be Yah always. Yah, our power, please forgive us for all the evil things we have done. Be with us all this day for Thy name's sake, Yehovah. Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, power of our fathers, and my power. Hearken to my voice, I pray Thee, if it pleaseth Thee for Thy name's sake. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Hayah! Selah. Once again, Shabbat Shalom L'Kem. Giving praise to the Holy One of Israel. I pray that all is well with everyone here. I pray you had a blessed week. I pray that the Most High has continued to show His mercies and His favor upon you all, and pray that the Most High will continue to be with you and your families. I pray that all of your children are well, all of your siblings are well, your parents are well. I pray that the Most High will continue to be with us all for His great name's sake. At this time, let us lift up our voices in song, in unison, to even sing the song Ze'ed HaShabbat. This is the Sabbath, and we say Sameach Ani, I am happy. I hope that we all are happy this day. And let us sing aloud, and let us sing together, even at this time. Ze'ed HaShabbat, Sameach Ani, Ze'ed HaShabbat, Sameach Ani, Ze'ed HaShabbat, Sameach Ani, Ani Ohe, Ani Ohe, Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Baruch atah Yehovah Tamid. Ubaruch et Shemecha le'olam wa'ed. We give thanks unto thee, O great King, for our lives, even on this, your holy Shabbat day. Once again, O Yah, you have showed us favor, O Yah, to even allow us to be alive this day, once again, O great King. For these things, O Yah, we say, Todah Rabbah Yehovah Eloheinu. Thou hast kept us, O Yah, from all danger and harm, seen and unseen. For these things, O Yah, we say once again, Todah Rabbah Eloheinu. Heavenly Father, thou hast been with our families, O great King. Thou hast, O Heavenly Father, allowed us to eat every day this week, O great King. We say, Todah Rabbah Yehovah, for providing for us food, clothing, and shelter, O Most High. O Yah, we pray that you would even continue to protect us from all danger and harm, seen and unseen, O great King. That you would even be with our families, O Yah, those who know you and those who know you not, O great King. Heavenly Father, be with our brothers that are on the cruise even at this time, O Yah. That you would even be with them on those great waters, O Yah, and that you would even protect them, O great King. Heavenly Father, remember our people even at this time. And remember us, O Yah, as we are in the land of our captivity, O great King. Keep us away from all of the diseases, O Yah, and all of the viruses, O Yah, that are running rampant in this world today, O great King. Heavenly Father, be with those that are mourning the loss of loved ones, O Yah, Eloheinu, like unto Cohane, O Yah, and so many others, that you would even bless them and heal them and comfort them, O Yah. Remember, O Heavenly Father, the sick of the house of Israel. Remember this day, Iman Akweva, O great King. Heal her, O Yah, we beseech thee, O great King, and allow her to enter these doors once again, O Yah, praising your name as she often does, O great King. Remember this day, O Yah, even Ima Ayalut, O great King. Remember, O Heavenly Father, Gavreta Diria this day, O great King, and continue to heal her, O Yah, and allow her to be recovered from her illness, O great King. O Yah, remember the men, the women, and the children, O great King. Remember those that are with child, O great King, that you would even allow them to even have a healthy baby boy or girl, O great King. And that, Heavenly Father, they would have a successful birth, O Yah, that you would even spare both the lives of the mother and the child, O great King. Heavenly Father, remember those that are here, O Yah, without their spouses, O great King, that you would even be with them as they are separated one from another, O great King, and that you would even keep them, O Heavenly Father, from all danger and harm, seen and unseen. Remember our children, O Yah, that go to school. Remember the parents, O Yah, that have to go to work, O Yah. Remember them on the school buses, O Yah. Remember our parents that have to drive, O Heavenly Father, and travel in their own vehicles, O Yah. Protect us, O Yah, Eloheinu, continually, and send your heavenly angels, O Yah, to guide, shield, and protect us all. O Yah, we say, Todah Rabbah Yehovah, for this place, that we can come, and that we can, O Heavenly Father, shout praises unto you, O great King, and that we can hear truth, and speak of truth, O Yah, and know of surety that there is no Yah like unto thee, O Most High. All the praises belong to thee now and forevermore. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable before thee, O Yah, my rock and my redeemer. As we all say together, Hallelujah! 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 Selah. O Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh Elohim, breaking of Yahweh. On thee, there is no God like Jehovah. You never always do a wondrous thing. Let all Israel say amen. There is no God like Jehovah. Breaking of the universe. Always do a wondrous thing. Let all Israel say amen. Hallelujah. Please be seated. Thanking y'all once again for allowing us to meet and to even have a holy convocation, to assemble ourselves at this place which we have dedicated to the Most High. We would now like to go into our prayers that we say together, hoping and praying that these words will be found acceptable in the highest course of the Most High's glory. On page 4 of the Sidrah and on the screen here, we find these words. Blessed art thou, O Jehovah, our power, and blessed be the works of thy hands. And the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day Yah finished his work, which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day and hallowed it, because that in it he rested from all his works, which Yah created had made. O thou who art most holy, look upon thy people in mercy. Hear thou us, O power of Abraham. Nurture us, O power of Yitzchak. Save us, we implore thee, O power of Israel. Blot us not out, O Yah, though our sins be many, but cast our evil doings into the bottomless pit, to remain forevermore. Our hope is in thee, O Yah. Without thy mercy we have none. Father of wisdom, thou dispenser of knowledge, cause our hearts to discern and our minds to retain thy law. Bless Israel to know thee as we did in the days of yore. And let the sign of the Shabbat shine brightly from this thy house, and from us thy people Israel. Let our voices mingle with the host of heaven, as we joyfully proclaim, blessed be the name of our power, and blessed be his holy day. Hallelujah. Shema. Shema. Israel. this is the day which Jehovah has made, and we will be glad and rejoice thereon. Unto thee do I lift up mine eyes, O thou that art enthroned in the heavens. Ascribe unto Jehovah the glory due unto his name. Worship Jehovah in the beauty of holiness. In thee, O Yah, do I take refuge. Let me never be ashamed.
Thou hast given us joy in the place of sorrow.
Thy truth is like a heady wine. Shout for joy, O ye children of Israel. Proclaim the name of our King, to whom the sun doth shine and the wind sing. Jehovah is our sun and shield. Who then can master us? To thee, power of our fathers, do we give honor and glory. For who is Yah beside thee? Be thou our judge, O Yah, against the ungodly nations. Save us, O our King, we beseech thee. Then shall we come clapping, singing, jumping, shouting, praising, crying, and exalting thy holy name. For with thee is the fountain of life. In thy light do we see light. Thy loving kindness, Yah, is in the heavens. Thy faithfulness reaches unto the skies. Depart from evil and do good, and dwell forevermore in peace. For Jehovah loveth justice and forsaken not his holy ones. Hallelujah, Shema. Shema Yisrael is the power of Abraham, who is called our father from Chaldea. Art thou not he, O power of Israel? Where is the power of Yitzchak, who did bless him with the righteous Rivkah? Thou art one and the same. Who knoweth him who changed Yaakov's name? Thou, O Yah, will forever remain. Though Joseph sojourned in Egypt, yet did all men show him favor. Thy hand, O Yah, was with him. Thou didst help Moshe and Israel against Pharaoh, who stood up the mighty Red Sea. Manna dropped from heaven to sustain thy people in the wilderness. They fashioned a calf to bow down to. Yet to Israel didst thou show mercy. We give thanks unto thee, O Yah, and tell of thy wondrous works. In Yehuda is Yah, and alone his name is great in Israel. His foundation is in the holy mountain. We will sing of the mercies of Jehovah forever. Unto all generations we will make them to be known. Stay thou, O Yah, in the midst of us. Cause righteousness once more to be sung. So shall the heavens praise thy wonders, Yah, thy faithfulness in the holy assembly. Let Israel awaken the day with their praises. Glory to Yah, now and forevermore. Hallelujah. Shema. Shema. Israel. Hallelujah. O Yah, thou art my power. Earnestly will I seek thee. Hear my voice, merciful Father. Preserve me from mine enemies. Send out thine angels to protect me. O thou that hearest prayer. With thy mighty hand, Yah, subdue all those that hate us. Remember us in mercy, Yah, and pardon all our transgressions. Except our power doth bless us, how do we hope to prosper? Unless our Creator protect us, we are as if He had not been. Stay thy hand, O death, for He doth forgive our iniquities. So will I sing praises to His name, that I may perform my vows. The dead praise not Jehovah, nay, nor any that go down into silence. Let us extol our power while we have life. Sing praises to our power while we have need. Together we will lift up our voices and gratefully sing. Withhold not thy voice from extolling our Maker. Let young and old praise Him together. Let the tribes come near and testify. Even the tribes of Israel, the mighty of Jehovah. Say among the nations, Jehovah reigneth. Thy power, Israel, over all the world. For Jehovah will not cast off His people, neither will He forsake His inheritance. Thy testimonies are very sure. Holiness becometh thy house, now, O Yah, and forevermore. Hallelujah. Shema. Shema. Yisrael. Yahuwah. Eloheinu. Hallelujah. This time we would like to sing the song HaTorah, to Petach HaTorah, even at this time. And brothers and sisters, as we open up even the portion of our Torah, so that we can study in the portion that is designated for today, the Sidrah that is called Sidrah of Terumah. Let us Petach HaTorah even at this time on page 6, even in our Sidrah. Whereby shall we return unto thee, for thy love to be fulfilled by thy Lord, by thy Lord, in our hearts to thee, and still our oh, how can we draw closer to each other? In the is the only way
Haripo Baruch Hashem Shel Yehovah.
Baruch Yahovah Yom Yom, Baruch Yahovah Tamid, Uvaruch Haba Likraera Torah.
Modeh Ani Lefanecha Yehovah. Natan Lanu Et
HaTorah. Hallelujah. Ladies, please be seated. All males, please remain standing before Yehovah, our power and King. Today, brothers and sisters, we are going to be reading in the book of Shemot, also known as Exodus to some. Exodus, the 26th chapter, beginning at the 36th verse, and we are going to conclude in the 27th chapter and the 19th verse. Exodus 26:36 to chapter 27, verse 19. Today is Sidrah Terumah. Hallelujah. We will speak about the name Terumah later on in the day. Exodus, the 26th chapter and the 36th verse. It reads on this wise in Hebrew. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Ve'asita masak lepetach ha'ohel tekelet ve'aret aman v'tola'at shani v'sheish mashzad ma'aser o'quim. Va'asita lemasak chamisha amudei shitim v'tzipita otam zahav va'wehem zahav v'yatzakta lahem chamisha adnei nechoshet. Ve'asita et hamizbeach atzei shitim chamesh amot oret v'chamesh amot rochav ravua yigeh hamizbeach v'shalosh amot komato. Hallelujah.
And thou shalt make a screen for the door of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen, the work of the weaver in colors. And thou shalt make for the screen 5 pillars of acacia and overlay them with gold. Their hooks shall be of gold. And thou shalt cast 5 sockets of brass for them. And thou shalt make the altar of acacia wood 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad. The altar shall be 4 square, and the height thereof shall be 3 cubits.
Amen. Modim anachnu la she'ata hu Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu Avram Yitzchak ve'Yakov le'olam ha'ed nikra et Akh Melech ben Zvulun ben Yisrael. Baruch Yahovah Yom Yom, Baruch Yahovah Tamid, Uvaruch Haba Likraera Torah. Hallelujah.
Ve'asita quadnotav al arba penotav mimenu tiyena quadnotav mitipet siga we tipita oto nekoshet ve'asita sirotav ledashno ve'ya'al siga ve'ya'al umiz roka umiz re kotau umiz le gotau umaka totau umak totau le kol kelau taase le koshet ve'asita lo mikbar maase reshet nekoshet ve'asita al Hareshet, Arba, Tamot, Nekoshet al Arba, Quetzota.
Hallelujah. Start again.
And thou shalt make the horns of it, and thou shalt make the horns of it upon the four corners thereof. The horns thereof shall be of one piece with it.
Right.
And thou shalt overlay it with brass. And thou shalt make its pots to take away its ashes, and its shovels, and its basins, and its flesh hooks, and its fire pans. All the vessels thereof thou shalt make of brass. And thou shalt make for it a grating of network of brass. And upon the neck thou shalt make 4 brazen rings in the 4 corners thereof.
Amen. Modim anachnu lak she'ata hu Eloheinu Elohei avotenu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov le'olam va'ed Nikra et Aknaniel ben Levi ben Yisrael.
Aniko Baruch Hashem Shel Yehovah.
Baruch Yehovah Yom Yom Baruch Yehovah Tamid Uvaruch haba Likra et HaTorah.
Mode ani lefeneka Yehovah Eloheinu natala nu et HaTorah.
Hallelujah.
When atata ota takat karko famizbeah mil mata wehaita areshet ad kasi famizbeah vasita vadim lamizbeah bade ase shitim vesifita otam nekoshet Behuva et ben badal batavaot vehayu habadim al shete zalot hamizbeah these 8 oto.
Amen. Start again.
And thou shalt put it under the ledge round the altar beneath, that the neck may reach halfway up the altar. And thou shalt make staves for the altar, staves of acacia wood, and overlay them with brass.
Right.
And the staves thereof shall be put into the rings, and the staff shall be upon the 2 sides of the altar in bearing it.
Amen. Modim anachnu lak she'ata hu Eloheinu Elohei avotenu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov le'olam va'ed Nikra et Bekor El Yafe ben Moretab El ben Levi ben Yisrael. Baruch Yehovah Yom Yom Baruch Yehovah Tamid Uvaruch haba Likra et HaTorah. Hallelujah.
Nevu ukot ta'aseh oto ka'asher hir'ah otka bahar ke yasu ve'asita et kasar hamishkan lifat negev temana kwelaim lekaser shesh mashzar mea va'ama orek lepea ha'ekat ve'amud dal ezrin ve'adnehem ezrin nekoshet wawe ha'amudim ve'kashukwehem kaset.
Amen. Start again. Baruch Hashem.
Hollow with planks thou shalt make it, as it hath been shown thee in the mountain, so shall they make it. Thou shalt make the court of the tabernacle. For the south side southward there shall be hangings for the court of fine twined linen, 100 cubits long for the one side. And the pillars thereof shall be 20, and their sockets 20, of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver.
Amen. Modim anachnu lak she'ata hu Eloheinu Elohei avotenu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov le'olam va'ed Nikra et Akot Meshia Eshet Akh Yakariel ben Yehuda ben Yisrael.
Aniko Baruch Hashem Shel Yehovah.
Baruch Yehovah Yom Yom Baruch Yehovah Tamid Uvaruch haba likraed haTorah.
Moda an lefneka Yeho, Shenatan lehaTorah.
Hallelujah.
Weruka hekasir lifat yam. Kwelaim
11.
With 11.
With King Lifat.
Wekan lifat zafon. Baorek kwelaim mea orek. We'amud dal esrim wa'ad danehem wa'ad nehem esrim nekoshet wawe ha'amudim wa'chat shekwehim
Chashu kohem.
wa'kwashu kwehim chasef werokav hekatzer lifat yam kwelaim kamishim ama amudehem asara wa'ad nehem asara werokav hekatzer lifat kwedma mizracha kamishim ama.
Amen. Start again.
And likewise for the north side in length, there shall be hangings 100 cubits long, and the pillars thereof 20, and their sockets 20, of brass, the hoofs of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the breadth of the court on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their sockets 10. And the breadth of the court on the east side eastward shall be 50 cubits.
Amen. Modim anachnu lach she'ata hu Eloheinu Elohei avotenu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov le'olam va'ed Nikra et Akot Shekira bat Lewi ben Yisrael
Aniko Baruch Shayoah.
Baruch Yahovah Yom Yom Baruch Yahovah Tamid Ubaruch Haba Likra et HaTorah. Hallelujah.
Wakamesh Esrei Ama Welaim Lakate Amudehem Shalosha Va'ad Nehem Shalosha Walakate Hashenit Kemesh Esrei Kelaim Amudehem Shalosha Wa'ad Nehem Shalosha Sha'ar Hekatzer Masar Esrim Amar Tekelet We'ard Gaman Wetolaat Shani Leshesh Masar Maase Roquain Amudehem Arba'a Nehem Arba'a.
Amen. Start again.
The hangings for the one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And for the other side shall be hangings of 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And for the gate of the court shall be a screen of 20 cubits of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen, the work of the weaver in colors. Their pillars 4, and their sockets 4.
Amen. Modim anachnu lach she'ata hu Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov le'olam va'ed Nikra et Maftir al hayom haShabbat hazeh seder Terumah Nikra et Akh Amatziyah ben Akh Amatziyah ben Lewi ben Israel. Baruch Yahovah Yom Yom Baruch Yahovah Tamid Ubaruch Haba Likra et HaTorah. Hallelujah.
Ko amude pekatser savi mekusha queen kesev we wawehem kasev wa nehem nekoshe. Orek hekatser me'ad va'ama werokav kamishim bekamishim bekoma kamesh Amot, Shesh, Mazar, Wa'anehem, Nakoshe. The Ko Kele, Kamishim, Kamish Khan, the Ko Abodato, the Ko Yetedo Tal, the Ko Yit Dot, Hekatser, Nakoshe.
Hallelujah. Try it again.
All the pillars of the court round about shall be filleted with silver.
Right.
Their hooks of silver and their sockets of brass. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, and the breadth 50 everywhere, and the height 5 cubits of fine twined linen, and their sockets of brass. All the instruments of the tabernacle, and all the service thereof, and all the pins thereof, and all the pins of the court shall be of brass.
Amen. Modim anachnu lach she'ata hu Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov le'olam va'ed.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom l'cha.
Brothers may be seated. Giving all glory, honor, and respect to the Most High, the one who allowed us to wake up this morning.
Amen.
Today's Maftir portion is going to be found in 1 Kings chapter 5, verse 26. That's 1 Kings chapter 5, verse 26. Around this time, what we're picking up from is the 4th year of King Solomon's reign. This is around the time when he's been pretty prosperous. He had a lot of land, gold, silver, sheep, oxen, women, men, pause, like soldiers, not men, like soldiers. And he had he was doing his thing. And around this time is when he realized that it was time for him to give back to the Creator. And he's going to build the temple of the Most High. The reason he had to do this was because his father couldn't do it because he was a man of war and he had too much blood on his hands. But the reason that King Solomon was so wise was because when the Most High came to him and asked him what he wanted, he had given him like one wish. And he couldn't wish for anything, he could have asked for anything, like gold, silver, land, anything, but he asked for wisdom and knowledge. And what's crazy about that is one of my uncles just came and told me this. He not knowing that I had this portion this weekend. And he told me, like, whatever I want to do and whatever we want to accomplish in our lives, we need to pray specifically, first of all, pray to the Most High specifically and ask not only that we accomplish our goals and what we want to do and succeed in whatever ventures we go in, but to ask for the wisdom and ask for the knowledge like King Solomon did to be able to know the rights and wrongs, the do's and don'ts of what we're trying to do and ultimately keep the Most High first. So we're going to go into it. 1 Kings chapter 5, verse 26.
And Jehovah gave Solomon wisdom as he promised him. And there was peace between Hiram and Solomon. And they two made a league together.
All right. Hiram was he was the king of Tyre in Lebanon.
Tyre.
Oh, Tyre. I know a guy named Tyre. But he was the king of Lebanon, which shows like King David left behind, he didn't just leave Solomon with nothing. He left behind a legacy. He left behind, I say, generational wealth. He gave, not only did he leave like gold, silver, and all those things behind, he left alliances and certain things to keep Solomon, allow Solomon to be able to reign the right way. That's something we have to do. Even if we don't have like all the jewels and all the money in the world, leaving something behind, like the knowledge that we have, the wisdom, and showing like the ones below us the do's and don'ts is leaving behind a legacy, leaving them generational wealth. It doesn't always have to be material.
And King Solomon raised the levy out of all Israel, and the levy was 30,000 men, and he sent them to Lebanon, 10,000 a month by courses. A month they were in Lebanon, and 2 months at home. And Adoniram was over the levy, and Solomon had 70,000 that bore burdens, and 80,000 that were hewers in the mountains, besides Solomon's chief officers that were over the work, 3,300 who bore rule over the people that wrought in the work. And the king commanded, and they quarried great stones, costly stones, to lay the foundation of the house with hewn stone. And Solomon's builders and Hiram's builders and the Gibeonites did fashion them and prepared the timber and the stones to build the house.
So he sent he sent a lot of people to go and get these things, and they weren't it wasn't like cheap wood or cheap supplies. It was things that, like, honestly, if it's during this day and time, it'd probably be a couple $1 million to build this temple.
More than that.
Yeah, even more, maybe probably more. But yeah, it took a lot. And then that shows like they brought the best for the Creator. They didn't just give like half, or like they didn't use any like washed up materials or nothing. That was they went for the best of the best to build something to give back to the Creator, which is how we have to be, and put forth our best for the Most High. Because honestly, without Him, we wouldn't be alive. Because you look up, you see a lot of things going on in this world. Like, you could be hooping with one dude, chilling with him, and then you find out next week that he got killed. And the Most High protected you and allows you to be able to make it to come back to the basketball court. But that's why, like, when we out here not only on the Shabbat, but like in general, giving honor and praise to the Most High, you shouldn't be coming like all lackadaisical. You need to put forth effort and show that the Most High that you are appreciative and that you really love the things that He's been doing for you. So for the second part of this portion, for the 6th chapter, I had a video that I wanted to show that gave us more of a visual representation of the temple, what it may have looked like.
And it came to pass in the 400th year, after the children of Israel were come out of the land of Egypt, in the 4th year of Solomon's reign over Israel, that he began to build the house of the Lord. And the house which King Solomon built for the Lord, the length thereof was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 20 cubits, and the height thereof 30 cubits. And the porch before the temple of the house, 20 cubits was the length thereof, according to the breadth of the house, and 10 cubits was the breadth thereof before the house. And for the house he made windows of narrow lights. And against the wall of the house he built chambers round about, 5 cubits high, and they rested on the house with timber of cedar. The nethermost chamber was 5 cubits broad, and the middle was 6 cubits broad, and the third was 7 cubits broad. For without in the wall of the house he made narrow rests round about, that the beams should not be fastened in the walls of the house. The door for the middle chamber was in the right side of the house, and they went up with winding stairs into the middle chamber, and out of the middle into the third. And the house, that is, the temple before it, was 40 cubits long. And the oracle in the forepart was 20 cubits in length, and 20 cubits in breadth, and 20 cubits in the height thereof. And within the oracle he made 2 cherubims of olive tree, each 10 cubits high. And he set the cherubims within the inner house, and they stretched forth the wings of the cherubims, so that the wing of the one touched the one wall, and the wing of the other cherub touched the other wall. and their wings touched one another in the midst of the house. And he carved all the walls of the house round about with carved figures of cherubims and palm trees and open flowers, within and without. And the whole house he overlaid with gold, until he had finished all the house. And for the entering of the oracle he made doors of olive tree. The lintel and side posts were a fifth part of the wall. So also made he for the door of the temple posts of olive tree, a fourth part of the wall. And the two doors were of fir tree. The two leaves of the one door were folding, and the two leaves of the other door were folding. And he carved thereon cherubims and palm trees and open flowers, and covered them with gold fitted upon the carved work. And Solomon made all the vessels that pertained unto the house of the Lord. The altar of gold and the table of gold whereupon the showbread was. And the candlesticks of pure gold, 5 on the right side and 5 on the left, before the oracle with the flowers and the lamps and the tongs of gold. And he set up the pillars in the porch of the temple. And he set up the right pillar, and called the name thereof Jachin. And he set up the left pillar, and called the name thereof Boaz. And upon the top of the pillars was lily work. So was the work of the pillars finished. And he made a molten sea, 10 cubits from the one brim to the other. It was round all about, and his height was 5 cubits. And a line of 30 cubits did compass it round about. It stood upon 12 oxen, 3 looking toward the north, and 3 looking toward the west, and 3 looking toward the south, and 3 looking toward the east. And the sea was set above upon them, and all their hinder parts were inward. And it was an handbreadth thick, and the brim thereof was wrought like the brim of a cup, with flowers of lilies. It contained 2,000 baths. And he made 10 bases of brass. 4 cubits was the length of one base, and 4 cubits the breadth thereof, and 3 cubits the height of it. And on the borders that were between the ledges were lions, oxen, and cherubims. And every base had 4 brazen wheels, and the work of the wheels was like the work of a chariot wheel. Then made he 10 lavers of brass. One laver contained 40 baths, and upon every one of the 10 bases 1 laver. And he put 5 bases on the right side of the house, and 5 on the left side of the house. And he set the sea on the right side of the house eastward, over against the south. So was ended all the work that King Solomon made for the house of the Lord.
Yeah, that shows you that just give you an example of what it might have looked like. That's a lot of gold and a lot of brass, a lot of money. That building, yeah. Because I see this is a neighborhood called the Peninsula. Got huge houses.
Yes.
When I look at that, I'm like, yeah, Peninsula, bunch of shacks. But yeah, that just makes you think, like, because they giving that to the Creator. What can I give? At least in a song or something. But yeah, Shabbat Shalom. That was my question. You learn something from it.
Hallelujah. Amen. Let's give it up for Amatziyah once again. Give thanks unto the Most High for his ability to come up and to explain the portion the way he did. One of the things that he left us with was how can he give back, and that's the very theme that I want to speak about today, because the very portion that we're going to be studying, different portions today, but the whole thing is about contribution and donation and how you can give back to the Holy One of Israel. And so we know that there's much, the Creator, you can't give him monies and there's nothing that you can give the Creator, that we would give to one another. So how do we give back and how do we contribute? And I want to show you some things perhaps later on how we can do that, and it's the same way as giving back to the Creator, because everything that we do is amongst each other. here on earth and how we do for one another. So we give thanks to Most High once again for the Maftir, for his words and showing that video and how explicit. Just imagine us coming to a place of worship like that every Shabbat. Can you imagine that?
Yes.
Can you imagine? We probably would get lost. Everybody wouldn't make it to the service on time because you got lost in the upper chamber somewhere. You understand? Just imagine that. Because you know us, we start venturing off somewhere and we supposed to be in the main sanctuary. Everybody else is exploring, you know. And so, you know, we be calling each other, where you at? I'm in the upper chamber. I can't get out, you know. But this is how it is. This is so elaborate. And so this was our past, and so will it be our future, brothers and sisters. In this day and time, what do we do in the interim? We continue to build up our own temples, our own bodies, and dedicate our lives, and not desecrate, but dedicate, you know, even our minds and our behavior to the Holy One of Israel. So again, we thank the Maftir. We thank Yah for all that he's done. Please stand before Yehovah once again. Let us sing HaTorah. However, this time we're going to sing Segore HaTorah instead of Petah, even at this time on page 6, once again in Al Sidori. HaTorah, HaTorah, Segore HaTorah, whereby shall we return unto thee, for thy words to be by thy Lord, by thy Lord, in our hearts it is to be in HaTorah, Segor oh, how can we draw closer to each other in the spirit of true righteousness, by thy Lord, by thy Lord, is the only way we Hallelujah. Shabbat Shalom Lakim. To those who just walked in, Torah Yah for your safe arrival. May the Holy One of Israel bless us and grant us again a continued peace, a peaceful day, a day of joy, a day of rejoicing, a day of praising the Holy One of Israel. This time let us sing the song, Cause Israel to Stand, a Queen Israel. As Yah, we ask Yah to establish us once again as a nation and as a people before Him. Even in this day and time, as we, brothers and sisters, we see so much that's going on. All of the signs are there. All of the signs are handwritten on the wall. It is up to us now to arise and shine, for your light has come. And so may Yah establish us once again. Let us sing, Cause Israel to Stand. Here are we, Yah, because of thy goodness. For our souls we come near. all our shame. Send thy mercy and light throughout all the land by the power of thy promise, Jah, cause Israel to stand. I will ever stand in thy glory. I will ever stand and erase all our Hallelujah. Let us sing the song Yerushalayim, found on page 2 in our songbook. Because once we establish, then we will be in our own homeland, even worshiping the Creator and Maker of heaven and earth. So let us sing about the land where our fathers served Yah. By the rivers of Babylon, yeah, we sat down and we cried. When we remember Jerusalem, we were still on near to dying. Jerusalem, 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 the land where our fathers served Yahweh. Our families land of us of songs to sing, birthday dreams. If I forget thee, Jerusalem, may I go my hand. Jerusalem, Sidrah, who said against our city, raise it to the ground. Their eyes did show no pity for Jerusalem, 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 land where our fathers served Yahweh. Please be seated. This time we would like to have read for us the 8th Proverbs that speaks of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. At this time, let us welcome our brother Akh Amatziyah, one of our Shomrim here in our midst. Let us welcome him to read the 8th Proverbs. Hallelujah. We can do better than that. Let's welcome him. First of all. Shabbat Shalom, Lakah.
Does not wisdom call and understanding put forth her voice? In the top of high places, by the way, where the paths meet, she standeth. Besides the gate, the entry of the city, at the coming in at the door, she crieth aloud. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voices is the sons of men. O ye thoughtless, understand prudence, and ye fools, be ye of understanding heart. Therefore I will speak excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall utter truth, and wickedness and abomination unto my lips. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There is none perverse or crooked in them. They are plain to him that understandeth, and right to them that findeth knowledge. Receive my instructions and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all things desirable are not to be compared unto her. I have wisdom, dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge of devices. The fear of Yahweh is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy, and evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding, power is mine.
Amen.
By me kings reign, and princesses decree justice. By me princes rule, and nobles, even all the judges of earth. I love them that love me, and those that seek me earnestly shall find me.
Amen.
Riches and honor are with me, yea, enduring riches and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, yea, than fine gold, and my produce than choice silver. I walk in the way of righteousness, in the midst of the path of justice, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and that I may fill their children. Yahweh made me as the beginning of his way, the first of his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the beginning of the dust of the world. When he established the heavens, I was there. When he sat a circle upon the face of the deep. When he made firm the skies above, when the fountains of deep showed their might. When he gave to the seas his decree that the waters should not transgress his commandments. When he appointed the foundations of the earth, then was I by him as a nursling. And I was daily all delight, playing always before him, playing in his inhabitable earth. And my delights are with the sons of men.
Amen.
Now therefore, ye children, hearken unto me, for happy are they that keep his ways. Hear instructions, and be wise, and refuse it not. Happy is the man that hearken to me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my doors. For so whoever findeth me, findeth life, and obtaineth favor of Jehovah. But he that misses me wrongeth his soul, and all they that hate me love death.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
It's hard to come behind those words, so we just say, Torah Yehovah for all things and everything.
Amen. Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. You know, wisdom continues on so profoundly in the 9th chapter and the 9th verse. It says, give to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a righteous man, and he will what? Increase in learning. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the All-Holy is understanding. For by me, meaning wisdom, thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased. If thou art wise for who? Thyself. And if thou scornest, thou alone shalt bear it. So we have to take these words into consideration, you know. A lot of times when people are there to help you, especially for our youth, when they're there to help you, to give you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, if you scorn it, it's not going to hurt the person that's giving it to you. It's only going to hurt you. And so that's why he said, if thou scornest, thou alone shalt bear it. Because what you're going to go through, that person is trying to help you, they're not going to be able to, you know, get in the way of what the Most High has, you know, in store for you, whether good or bad, you know. And the thing about it is, the people who are trying to help you, they've been there before. That's why they come in and tell you what's going on. You ever hear your parents say, you're going down the wrong road. You better be careful. Why? Because they know certain things. When you have certain, you know, sons and daughters that's making movements and doing certain things, and then when your parents, especially your father, and he can see where you're going to end up, you got to be very careful, because that's the Creator telling him, you got to speak to your son because he's heading down the wrong road. So again, thou scornest, thou alone shalt bear. And if you're wise for yourself. And so you should always consider when someone comes and tries to give you counsel, tries to give you a good word or give you wisdom. And this is for young men and young women, because the women are not exempt either. Because, you know, certain things, you know, just because it classifies he or him, it goes for her and she as well. So blessed be the name of the Most High for leaving on record these beautiful words of wisdom. At this time, let us go into the book of Psalms. And let us read the 24th Psalm together, even at this time. Okay. 24th Psalm, let us read it together. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
The earth is Jehovah's, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the seas, and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the mountain of Jehovah? Who shall stand in his holy place? He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who have not taken my name in vain, and have not sworn deceitfully, he shall receive a blessing from Jehovah,
And righteousness from the power of his salvation.
Such is the generation of them that seek after him, that seek thy face, even Yaakov, Selah. Lift up your heads, O ye gates,
And be lifted up,
ye everlasting doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who is the King of glory? Jehovah strong and mighty, Jehovah mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, yea, lift them up, ye everlasting doors, that the King of glory may come in. Who then is the King of glory? Jehovah of hosts. He is the King of glory, Selah. And I would ask if you would stand before Shah as we, brothers and sisters, give honor and glory to God, our power, creator and maker of all. Thank you, God, for Star Haroon, the leader of this community, the elders, Cohane, the Morning, Mishara team, Shomri, all the men, women, and children of this community and abroad. Hallelujah! 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 We do have Shabbat school today. Came walk with the children. Go with the teacher today. That's the majority of the congregation. The rest of you, please be seated. As he leaves reluctantly. You gotta grow up sometime, right? He's gonna get the message one day. Soon he's gonna be running to class. And he's gonna be one of our teachers in the days to come, right? So people can say, I remember when you didn't want to go to class. Now you're teaching everybody. So it happens. You know, just give them some time. Most High be with them. Hallelujah. At this time, brothers and sisters, I would like to say to you all, Yehovah Sifatai, Chiftah Ufiyagi, Tihilateka. Yehovah, open down my lips and my mouth shall declare thy praise. Hallelujah. Shabbat shalom to Karen. We have a small crowd today, a more intimate crowd. That's okay, because sometimes we need that, you know. May the Most High continue to be with our brotherhood. They're on a cruise. May the Most High continue to bless them and keep them from danger, harm, seen and unseen. May He bless all of us to keep us from the viruses and the diseases that are running rampant. You know, it's a serious thing. But you know what? When you are an Israelite, you should not
be astonished or you should not be surprised as to what's going on in the world today. Because the Creator already left on record that these things will happen. So when people say, oh my God, you know, oh my God is right. But we should not worry. We should not be surprised because we're living in captivity, and the Most High said that all these things will come about. And guess what? Some of our people are getting mixed up in these things as well. So today, what I want to do, today is Sidrah Terumah. Okay? It is the building of the temple. What I want to focus on today is not so much the historical event that took place. Maury, if you can show them the picture I showed you, I sent to you about the temple, the tabernacle, Bakusha. So this is the tabernacle. Of course, you can see a difference from when Amatziyah, who's a Maftir today, he showed you the temple that Solomon built, right? This is the tabernacle that Moshe and the children of Israel built in the wilderness, okay? Now, there are a lot of versions of it, you know. I chose this one because it looked nice. So I said, okay, so this is the courtyard, right? And you see all the tribes that are around. And then you had the tabernacle right here. This is the altar of, not the altar of incense, but the altar of burnt offerings. And then you had the basin. And then you would go in. Of course, this is inaccurate because how many pillars were in front of the tabernacle? 4. They had 5.
5.
Right? So that would be the entrance. And then you would go in, and then you had the menorah, you had the altar of incense, and then you had the partition. And then behind that partition would be what? The ark, and then that would be the Holy of Holies. That's basically what it is. So again, you see an overview of the portion Terumah, which takes place in, to the Sidrah. Moshe is on Mount Sinai receiving the blueprint for this particular tabernacle. Because when we left off last Shabbat, he went in, he had to wait 6 days, correct? And on the 7th day, Yah called him, right? And he was in the mountain for how many days and nights? 40 days and 40 nights. And so now, what he's receiving from the Creator is the blueprint that would now be the construction of this particular tabernacle and the courtyard, right? What do you think the children of Israel were doing at that time? We know one thing they were doing, right? Because remember what Moshe said? He said, if you have a cause, you would bring it to who? Aaron and Hur, right? They took matters into their own hand. They didn't care nothing about, I think the cause wasn't even between themselves. The cause was Moses. You're the cause, Moses. Why? Because you ain't around. And so this allowed them to build the golden calf. All of this happened while Moses was in the mountain. We didn't start constructing or building this tabernacle until we get to the portion of Wayachel where it said that Moshe assembled, because all that stuff had to happen first. Then, remember when they came with a willing heart and Moshe told them, listen, you bought too much, because they felt what? Guilty after what they did by building a golden calf. And so the Most High said, wow, first time that they did something right, Moshe was happy, he was proud. But this particular portion, Moses is just getting all of the details, the blueprint, all of the materials that he needed to get in the children, because he said the children of Israel had to give an offering. They didn't give it at this time. They gave it after the golden calf. And guess what? They felt so guilty, as I said. They said, you know what? I'm going to bring more than because if they brought it now, I don't know what would have happened. They might have been a little stingy, but they weren't stingy after that golden calf incident, because they said, man, they saw, a couple of things happen, and they said, I'm going to give freely. And this was, what was it all about? He received not only the blueprint for the tabernacle, but what else did he receive?
The 10 Commandments again.
No, because the 10 Commandments he already received. He received that already. What else did he receive? He received the pattern or the measurements for the Kohane's garments, right? He received all of that. All of the vessels, all of the specifications for the vessel. And Misharet is going to just go around and show you those particular articles. You have the menorah. Just show them before before we get into our topic for today. All of the things that is speaking about today. And once we get to Wayachel Pekudei, then you're going to see how they are going to start making these things and even placing these items into the tabernacle. Now, can someone tell me how this particular, was this tabernacle stationary?
No.
It was,
No.
right? No?
Mobile.
It was mobile, right. So they had to dismantle it, right? They had to set it up, you know, when they were going to their different places, right? And there's another portion of history, maybe Zaquin can give it in a few weeks, maybe, you know, we get him on the list, because this particular tabernacle went all the way to where? Shiloh, right? Akia, the Shilonite, right? And all these things happened because a lot of people wondered, like, whatever happened to this tabernacle? So that's another part of history, Zaquin, that you probably can test people on as well. But anyway, this was the end result of the tabernacle. When the children of Israel gave freely, right? And on the summit of Mount Sinai, Moshe is given a detailed instructions on how to construct this particular dwelling, right? For Yah, so that it could be readily dismantled, transported, and reassembled as a people journeyed in the desert, correct? So now in this sanctuary's inner chamber, behind an artistically woven curtain was the ark containing the tablets of the testimony, engraved with the 10 Commandments. On the ark's cover stood the 2 winged cherubim, hammered out of pure gold, because I'm going to tell you something right now. The gold that they were using back in the days,
Pure.
it wasn't the same as we think you know, when you go to Jamaica Avenue or you go to the east side to get your gold, it was not that type of gold. They had pure gold. You understand? Just like when Amatziyah said it could be worth millions, it's probably worth billions of dollars. The gold that we're talking about, our brothers and our fathers, they had real gold. Okay? In the outer chamber stood the 7-branched menorah. Did you show them the menorah, Mishare? And the table upon which the showbread was arranged. Showed them the lechem panim, the table for the lechem panim, right? The showbread, all of that, right? We all know this stuff, right? We've been studying these things for many years. The sanctuary's 3 walls were fitted together from 48 upright wooden boards, each of which was overlaid with pure gold. Just imagine these walls overlaid with gold. Can you imagine that? Or your house. You say, yeah, I have a golden house. This truly was a golden house, a golden tabernacle. Okay? The roof was, it was put together, fitted together from 48 upright wooden boards, each of which was overlaid with gold and held up by a pair of silver foundation sockets. Right? The roof was formed of 3 layers of coverings. Right? Tapestries of multicolored wool and linen, covering made of goat hair, covering of ram and or takash skins. Across the front of the sanctuary was embroidered screen held up by 5 posts. Right? That's what this is all about. Right? And then it was kind of like you had like a foyer before you even entered the sanctuary or the holy place. Right? Surrounding the sanctuary and the copper-plated altar, which fronted it, was an enclosure of linen hangers. That's they're talking about the courtyard, right? Supported by 60 wooden posts with silver hooks and trimmings reinforced by copper or brass stakes. So we see the greatest time, one of the greatest times in Israelite history, right? That was a beautiful time. If you were there back in those days and time, you got to ask yourself, what type of person were you to give freely or to contribute or to donate? Think of the person you are now. And the Creator said, give me an offering so you can build a temple. Would you be the one to say, you know what, I don't even like these people. I don't even like the Cohane that they're going to have in the midst. You know what I mean? Would you be that type? You know, especially, you know, roaming in the wilderness. They were just, going after Moses, right? Yelling at Moses. How many times they wanted to kill him? They ain't been out of Egypt for just a minute, and they wanted to kill him. What type a person or what type of ruach that you have to say, you know, I want to give. Just knowing the person you are now. Just, you know, you don't have to answer that, but just think about it, you know. And so, again, that was one of the greatest times of Israelite history. We gave freely, you know, willingly to construct the tabernacle. After all, when you think about it, everything that we have belongs to the Creator anyway, right? Mm-hmm. And you're supposed to give freely. Proverbs 2nd chapter and the 9th verse for Dr. Shah. Just want to give you some things to consider, to remember as we live in these days and times, especially in our in the land of our captivity, because when we go back home, there's no doubt in my mind that we have to construct another temple. And so you have to have the mindset to know that, hey, I'm going to have to give my time. I have to do this. I have to give that. So again, Proverbs, the 2nd chapter and the 9th verse reminds us of this. It says,
then shalt thou understand righteousness and justice.
Is that Proverbs 2?
Proverbs 2:9.
Proverbs
2:9, yeah. Or am I looking at the wrong place? Proverbs.
Hold on a second. Shabbat Shalom. This is a more intimate setting, so come on in. It's an intimate setting today. We don't have a lot of people today. Come on in. Come on in. Hold on a second, Zafman. That's not the portion I was looking for. I'm looking for the portion where it says, that you should give to the Creator. I thought it was in this chapter.
Is it sorry?
Oh, 3:9. I'm sorry. I just wrote it down wrong. Proverbs 3:9.
Honor Yahweh with thy substance.
There's the portion I'm looking for.
And with the first fruits of all thine increase.
Right.
So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy vats shall overflow with new wine.
Now, is it that true for many of us? When you give freely, right, and when you honor the Creator with your substance, don't you feel that the Creator has done even more for you? Always, right? So when you give back, you know, you have to consider what the Creator is going to do for you. And guess what? Don't do it because you're looking for something in return. You know, a lot of people do that. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to give you this $20, you know, and then you went to go to the Creator like, okay, Lord, where's my $100 now? You know, I don't help this brother out, then where's my help? You can't do it like that. That's why you have to give freely and willingly. So that when you give it, you don't even think about it. Mm-hmm. And then the Most High will bless you when you least expect it. Mm-hmm. Correct? Okay. So that's where he said, you know, honor. Read it again for me. Proverbs 3:9.
Honor Yahweh with thy substance, and with the first fruits of all thine increase.
Right.
So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy vats shall overflow with new wine.
Now let me ask you this question: how many of us, you say our barns are filled with plenty? I'm not saying that you want your refrigerator to be stocked to the fullest, but do you eat every day? I guess not. You don't eat every day. Do you have plenty? Because plenty can mean that you have just enough that the Most High gives you so that you can feed yourself, feed your family. Is that plenty for you? Now, of course, all of us might want more, a little bit more, right? But you got to think about, you know, certain things that the Creator gives you. You have to say, you know, Torah Yah, that I have enough. You know, just like when you ever get to a point where you get a little bit of money and you say, wow, I got this extra case of, and then you need to get your car fixed, right?
That happened.
So the thing about it is your first reaction is you get mad because now I got to spend this money, this extra money that I have. But on the spiritual side of it, you have to say, Torah Yah, that I have the money to fix this car. Because have you ever been in the situation where you had to get your car fixed and you didn't have no money? You know? So you got to be careful how, you know, you think you might have that extra money and then something happens, you're like, oh man, you know, you start getting mad at the Creator. Like, the Creator, you didn't know that the Creator gave you that extra money because He knew your car was going to break soon. So you got to look at it like that. Don't ever think that extra money is...
Listen, the money that we have, sometimes, it's just going to come and go. But you got to thank the Creator for what you have at that moment. Because it can, you know what? The Creator can do other things and it'll be much worse. You just lost like $200 just to fix your car, but what if the car costs more than what you had? So you gotta, just take those things into consideration. And it just be just enough. Your whole gave you $250 extra and the car costs $249.99. So you gotta consider what the Creator. So anyway, so we saw, as I said, one of the greatest times in history. This was a historical event that took place. The tabernacles, the articles are no longer in our possession, correct? Can anyone tell me where the articles are now?
Which articles?
The articles that we're talking about in Terumah.
Oh, they haven't been collected yet.
They haven't been collected. So why should we worry ourselves about it? Are the articles that Moshe and the children of Israel were speaking about back then, is that going to save us today? Is it going to allow us to be saved from our, degradation and, the evil that we're in right now? No, right? So we shouldn't worry. Let's go to a portion in Jeremiah, I think it is, Zaquin, the 3rd chapter. He's going to be going through certain precepts. Jeremiah 3:14, I believe it is.
Return, O backsliding children, saith Jehovah, for I am a Lord unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion, and I will give you shepherds according to my heart, who shall feed you with knowledge and understanding, and it shall come to pass, when ye are multiplied and increased in the land, in those days, saith Jehovah, they shall say no more the ark of the covenant of Jehovah.
They shall do not what?
They shall not no more. See God. In those days, saith Jehovah, they shall say no more the ark of the covenant of Jehovah.
Why?
Neither shall it come to mind.
Why
Neither shall they make mention of it.
Why is that?
Neither shall they miss it.
Right.
Neither shall it be made any more.
Right.
At that time they shall call Jerusalem the throne of Jehovah, and all the nations shall be gathered unto it, to the name of Yah, to Jerusalem. Neither shall they walk any more after the stubbornness of their evil heart. In those days the house of Yehudah shall walk with the house of Israel.
Right.
And they shall come together out of the
land of the north. Right. Where are we, my brothers and sisters?
To the land of the north.
Are we in the land of the north right now? Right? We're in North America, right? Okay, North Carolina. But we're in North America right now. And the Creator said that He was going to bring us out of the lands of the north, right?
And they shall come together out of the land of the north to the land that I have given for an inheritance unto your fathers.
That's good enough. I just want you to see that it's not going to be, those things are not important now. They will be in the future. The Ark of the Covenant. Because really, do you wake up thinking about the Ark of the Covenant, Zaquin? What do you think about? You trying to get right before the Creator, right? And you know that the Ark of the Covenant, these vessels, the tabernacle, is not going to help you get right with the Creator. Am I right?
That's right.
So now that's what I said we don't want to dwell on that. So there's no doubt in my mind that the temple will be rebuilt again in our land, along with the articles mentioned in this particular Sidrah. Until that time comes, what should we be doing in the interim to prepare for the future spiritual events to come? Now, I'll take a few hands. What should we be doing? Until that time comes, what should we be doing in the interim to prepare for future spiritual events to come? I'll take 2 answers. Just think about it. What should we be doing right now to prepare until that time comes where the temple is going to be rebuilt in our own land, and God will take us to our land, and we will dwell there as a nation and as a people. Until that time comes, what are we supposed to be doing right now? 2 answers. Co-Mashiach. Shabbat Shalom, man.
The two things that I think we should be doing, or I
Well, you give one and let someone else give one. That's all
There's
right.
nobody raised their hand, so I was just
I hear you.
that
That's
we really
Hoshea's
should
daughter, by
get
the
our
way.
spirits in order,
Mm-hmm.
and that contains dealing with others in a righteous manner.
Okay, totally. I like that. Let's hear from Akoha Yafa, because I have more questions, so your hands will go up. Again, this is a little informal setting, you know, about Terumah, but I'm looking at it in a different manner. Okay,
Shabbat Shalom.
go, as Maurice Michel used to say. Go.
I think we should be utilizing the resources as far as education, learning how to do certain things with our hands
Mm-hmm.
before we actually get back to the land. Because when we get back and we don't know what to do, then what are we going to do?
I agree. That's a good. So in other words, we gotta start learning how to farm because we have to learn how to feed ourselves, right? Because right now we looking to the masters to feed us, right? At a drop of a hat, we just go to Food Lion, Walmart, just like that.
If he's feeding you, he's controlling.
He's controlling. We don't go to our backyards and get the rice and the cucumber and the tomato. We go to Walmart Food Line. Now, what if they're all out of that stuff? What's going to happen? We have to start, thinking about these things. And I know we say it all the time, but we really have to start thinking because there's going to be a shortage of food soon.
Right.
And if we don't get to the point where we know how to do for ourselves and plant the tomato or plant the cucumber or whatever it is, we're going to be starving. Okay? Now, let's continue. Now, great answers, by the way. Now, what is our contribution? Because that's what the word terumah means. It means contribution, donation. It says offering, but it's really a contribution. What is our contribution as it relates to doing the service of Yah in this day and time? What is our contribution as it relates to doing the service of Yah in this day and time? We try our best to maintain and contribute to this place of worship we've dedicated to the Most High, right? We give our tithes, free will offerings, donations, yada, yada, yada. But would you agree with me that our contribution / service must go beyond these four walls?
Definitely.
Do you agree?
Yes.
Because in the meantime, while we contribute into this place, because we need the lights to be on. It's not fun having services with no electricity, no heat. That's not good. Even though some of us have experienced that before. I remember days we didn't have no heat, and we used to play the drums with our coats on. And it was those were some rough days when I tell you. And I look at my father, and he said, "Play the drums," And we take off our mittens because the place was so cold. Somebody forgot to do something or whatever, and we have our big coats on playing the drums, and it was some days. So I know what that feels like, but you really don't want that to happen all the time. So again, what should be our contribution, as it relates to the service of Yah, doing the service of Yah in this day and time? Because as I said, it has to go, past these four walls. And you all agree with me, right?
Yeah.
So what should we be doing? Mashiach, again. Shabbat Shalom.
I believe that we should be more like the Jehovah's Witnesses. I mean, they're out there putting their word out.
I know what she's saying.
So I'm saying that in terms of spreading the Most High's word in a way that is an influx. They will come knock on the door, and I kindly invite them in, and I teach them who we are, and they go running. But if we went in and we really were opening the eyes and not fearing human beings, because I feel like a lot of it is a fear, we need to get past that fear and only fear the Most High and really put His word, whether it's creating our own pamphlets to pass out, if you don't feel comfortable knocking on somebody's door and going in there, but that same concept to spread the word of the Most High.
Beautiful.
Truth.
Right, slow down. Okay, I saw your hands up, Queen.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
You see, that was the main job of the house of Israel. Remember, we as a people were supposed to be priests to the nations. In other words, we were supposed to be out there teaching them about the ways and how you're supposed to worship the Most High. The reason the world has run amok is because we fell down on our job.
Right.
And that's why we were spanked. You know, and the thing about it is, that's why you see all of these things happening until we turn to the Most High with all of our hearts, all of our souls, and all of our might. And that's why we as a people who know this, you have to teach, each one has to teach one.
Right.
You understand? We have to teach each other. And then a lot of us, whether they hear or whether they forbid, they cannot say, I didn't know. You understand? Because if you know something, if you don't know, you're just ignorant.
Right.
But if you know and you keep on doing what you're doing, that's stupidity. See, and a lot of our people have that because the Most High took our knowledge away from us. And it's hard for some of us to try to get our knowledge back.
Ken, go Ken.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
I just wanted to add that it is not your portion, because I probably would never knock on anybody's door. I'm not setting up a table at my job or anything like that. That's just not my way. But I think another effective way would be to just modeling who we are every day. And sometimes you don't even have to speak to that. You don't have to speak about, like Mashia was saying, handing out pamphlets. It's just being who you are. You and I had the conversation last night, and I was telling you, I never wear taboo to work. I never wear, other than tzitzis, you might not know I'm too different, but people know I'm different. So I think it's a lot to be spoken of how you carry yourself and your character. It's not always what you have on. So, and you don't always have to be having some kind of literature to hand out as well. But that is definitely a
And then we're going to move on to the next segment.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
And also to add to Kenya's point, I do wear a taboo to work sometimes. And it's the appearance that they know that there's something different. I don't wear a taboo every day, but on the days that I do, and especially during our holy season, they know that there's something different. They see my Mogan Dawi. Some people question, Star David or whatever. That's how we get into conversation. So if you walk the walk, you have to be able to talk the talk in order to answer the questions that people have when they come to you, because the inquisitiveness that they have is they want to know why you are different, or there's something different about you. They can't put their finger on it, but they know that when they see you, whether they see me with my head wrapped or with some other stuff going on with my head, they know that from the head up, there's something else working, and it ain't working from their perspective. So they come and they ask, what, maybe not what are you about, but, oh, Miss Lynn. And some have started calling me Biafia, because they know that's my Hebrew name. So they either call me Miss B or B, or, they ghetto-tized stuff, so, and if they can't say it, I'd rather you call me Miss B or B. But they'll come to me, whatever name they address me as, there's always a miss in front of it. Yes, ma'am. I don't know if that's because it's the Southern way, but I take it as a form of respect, because that's telling me that whatever I'm doing, however I'm walking, however I'm speaking, whoever I'm looking at eye to eye, they have a form of respect, and they know that there's something different.
Absolutely.
And they respect that differentness.
Queen Bee, right?
So, what's funny? You just provoke some thought. Just to show you the world we live in. You know this already. The young man that was criticized for having his locks, but it's okay for Will Smith's son to walk around with a dress. They will accept that better than a young man wearing locks. Just to show you how the mindset. And what's that guy's name that he wears a dress all the time? What's his name?
You talking about the basketball player?
No.
Mr. Anti-Man.
He's anti-man. He's married to a Lavon man. I forget his name.
His name
But he
is
was
Porter.
Yeah, Porter. Well, look him up, because I just started watching him coming around you know, and he wears all of these dresses and that's acceptable.
Yeah.
And my kippah or my locks are not. There's something wrong with this world, people.
Right.
You gotta understand there's something. But you know what? Don't be astonished. Don't be afraid, and don't be surprised because they're trying to do away with us returning back to the Creator. So anything that's happening now, you got to make sure that you are on the side of right and on the side of Yah. Because the Creator right now, I mean, and always, if it was not for Him, we would get nothing. They would do us into no end, and they would bury us and act like we don't even exist. They wouldn't if they buried us, they wouldn't even say, oh yeah, we buried them there. They would do it with, no, we don't know where they at.
We got rid of them. So we have to continue to pray to the Creator. Now, again, today's topic is
Your contribution. And I'm not talking money all the time. It doesn't have to be, you know, monies. It can be your service to, you know, just doing something for someone. Because when you do for someone, you are doing the service of Yah, you know. Because you can't give Creator, you know, you can't buy him groceries.
Right.
He doesn't need it. You can't sit down and talk with the Creator unless you're praying, you know what I mean? But He will never answer you. I mean, He'll answer you in ways that you know He'll answer you, but, you know, in terms of, you know, okay, yeah, that's a good prayer you prayed, you know. You have to, it has to go beyond the thought of, you know, just in these four walls and contributing. Now, again, what I think about is, when you think about, you know, contribution and service, families are struggling. And they're struggling in ways like spiritually, physically, financially, mentally, emotionally. Mental health is at an all-time high. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah.
What can we do to contribute and put our service to Yah into play when it comes to the examples that I just mentioned about people who have mental health? We may not, okay, we're not doctors, but is there some kind of way that we can help them? I'm sure there is, right? Now, Maury, let's go to that video. You talk about the curse that we live on. The curse is still alive and well. The Deuteronomy 28 is, you know, I don't care if you think that, you know, a person might think that they've made it or they're free, you know what I mean? Or the, you know, like the plantation is over or slavery is done away with. Guess what? They just passed a bill this week about lynching.
100-year lynching, right?
And guess what? It wasn't unanimous.
That's right.
So that means that there's some people that still say that, you know, we need to still be lynching. You know we living in a crazy world. So let's go to the Disneyland brawl. This happened last year.
This video is taking the internet by storm. People are even taking the time
Talking about
to
mental
break it
health
down.
and our
Let me just
people?
underscore all of this. The fight that you're about to see took place at Disneyland.
Disneyland, where you take your children.
That's right. The place where you take your toddlers when you go to Disneyland. All right, let's take a look at it. Again, you're going to see a guy there in the video. He's wearing a bright pink shirt. It may look red on your screen. He apparently gets into some sort of discussion that escalates quite quickly as a woman in a white tank top spits in his face and then he punches her. And then a guy in a white t-shirt. And by the way, all these people seem to be either related or all friends. There was definitely all at Disneyland together. The guy in the white shirt, he starts hitting. And then another woman who's in a beige tank top, she gets into the fracas. Now this goes on for some time, it dies down just for a moment, and then it picks back up again as the two women start fighting each other. Then the men enter the fight again. All of this.
Look at it.
A woman gets up from her mobility scooter.
Look at the people around her. Look at the children.
In the melee, and then she ends up on the ground. It doesn't stop there. It stops and starts at least 2 or 3 more times. That's when park goers actually intervene in all of this, and then we see security come in. They break up the fight, and as we understand, that family was escorted out of Toontown and out of Disneyland. As far as a statement from Disneyland, we've reached out to them. At this point, they have not responded.
You got 6 months in jail for that.
And we're not sure if there were any sort of criminal charges against the people involved in all of this. We're working with the Anaheim Police Department right now to get that information. But again, as we come back out here, Toontown ladies and gentlemen,
Typical
on a
of us.
Saturday,
That is us.
they fight.
That's what I'm about.
Apparently, all of these people do.
You know what she's saying, right?
Yeah.
You know, you hear the condescending of the news reporter? As I said, in her mind, she said, look at all of these, you know what? These N-words.
And we do that to one another
One
in
another.
a heartbeat.
Exactly.
See, we'll jump in each other's
Want the
face,
mic,
but we won't jump in anybody else's face.
His name is Billy. Sneak us, Shay.
Okay.
His name is Billy Porter.
Billy Porter, that's what I was talking about. Okay. Now, I showed that because
This is just to show you what our people are going through. Now, some people might say, oh, it's the curse, but really, it's that mental health, because if the mentality of some of our people, this should not, the children are watching. What do you think the other people are saying? And then people, our people, they get mad when they say, oh yeah, the Lavan man is against us because they see how we act
To each other.
and guess what? A lot of times they treat us just how we treat each other. Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. And let's take it from,
I don't think that's a mental health.
I'm not saying it could be. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying the mindset is just not clear,
Yes, right, absolutely.
you know? And a lot of times when you think about mental health, sometimes, you know, well, I have a thing on mental health here because it comes into play somehow, because it's about, you know, families that are not structured correctly, families who are going through financial situations, job loss, everything. So all of that, or just self-hatred.
Okay. Yes.
You understand? That's what it is. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and let's take it from this 47th verse. It says,
Because,
Deuteronomy 28:47.
you want to take it right there? Because thou didst not serve Yahweh thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, by reason of the abundance of
Now
all
look what he
things.
said now. He said, because you didn't serve Jehovah.
Because this is the word that I'm trying to emphasize. The word serve, worship. They're all the same words in Hebrew. Because you did not give your all to the Creator, you did not do what you were supposed to do for the Creator, this is what happens. He says,
Because thou didst not serve Yahweh thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, by reason of the abundance of all things,
Therefore,
shalt thou serve thine enemy, whom Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee.
now let's go to the part where it talks about that we would be a proverb and a byword.
And thou shalt become an astonishment,
There you go.
a proverb, and a byword among all the peoples, whither Yahweh shall lead thee away.
As I said, that woman that was the news reporter, you know what was going in her mind, right? You know exactly what she wanted to say, but she just can't say it. And guess what? She was happy to report that.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was happy to show that, because they all love when they could say, see,
See?
these how these N-words act. Look at them. See, we left them alone, and this is what they do. But this is the result of the curse that the Creator put upon us.
But not to take away from your point, the Europeans that act like this and worse.
Absolutely,
You can see fights online
absolutely.
and everything.
But today, I want to focus on.
Yeah, I'm just saying that.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. They act just as bad, but I want our people to get ourselves together. Because, you know, if we don't get ourselves together, listen, the Europeans, they can act like that and they can still go to a job and get the job and get the, you know what I mean? Us, we have to live with that stigma for a long time, and then what they do is they blacklist them. Oh, no, I don't know. This officer, detention officer, was talking to me yesterday because I asked her a question. I said, how come you guys don't have guns? Not in the jail. She explained it to me. She said, because the inmates can
Overpower them.
take the gun from us and then they can shoot either us or the person, the other inmate. I said, that's fine. She said, but they were talking about it for a while, she said. She said, and one of the Lavan superior officers told her, she's from Jamaica. She said, oh, but you wouldn't get a gun because you from Jamaica? No, y'all crazy. And she didn't know at the time that she can go to HR and report that that he said that. Because one of the officers said, you should have reported him. That's racism.
Extreme.
She said she didn't know at the time because she just started. He said, no, you wouldn't get a gun because you from Jamaica. Y'all crazy. You don't think that they just say whatever they want, and then putting this other fool in office, that just gave them a license to do and say whatever they want to do. Say whatever they want to say, do whatever they want to do, everything.
And they don't have to
So
be
now,
drinking beer now.
I have another question. Now listen to this question. When you think about Moshe being on Mount Sinai, right? He's receiving the blueprint. Can you turn my mic up a little bit, Laksha? He's receiving the blueprint from the Creator about the tabernacle, right? The children of Israel, they're waiting for him to come down, right? Because what's that saying? Devil's idle mind, devil's workshop, right? That's what was happening, right?
We want to party.
They wanted to, they hemmed up Aaron, make us a god, right? He got scared, right? That's what they were doing. So my question to you is this. What was missing in the revelation at Sinai that necessitated the building of a temple? Couldn't the Most High have just shown his people that he could dwell amongst them without the benefit of a temple? Right? Do you think the children, couldn't the Most High just dwell with us without him saying, build me a temple? Because Jehovah, we say Chaya all the time, right? Jehovah dwells with us. He's within us, right? But what was missing in the revelation at Sinai that necessitated the building of a temple? Go ahead, Mashiach, and then I'll take you. What was missing? Now, Donnie, I see your brain is working. I know. I want you to say something because I see you, like, okay. Well, go ahead, Mashiach.
I think that what was missing was a mindset.
There
We
you
were
go.
assimilated with another people for over 400 years. And we more than just watched what they did. We did what they did.
We
looked
assimilated.
like a bunch of Egyptians at a point in time.
Right.
So that mind frame was a big part of it because your thoughts is your reality.
Right.
Because perception is reality. So I think that was the biggest part.
Good answer. Yeah. Go ahead, Cohane.
To add to her thing.
Want me to say the question again?
Yeah, the first thing that came to my mind when you was saying was structure. I felt like when you, just like with children, when there's no set, demarcation for this or something when there's times when you have to do something at a certain time, set structure.
Right.
There were no systems, there was nothing systematic set up for them, that they knew they had to do this, and thereafter, then came all the laws that when this happens, you do this. When this happens, you do this. When you go there, you do this. If you have to go to the bathroom, you do this. So they didn't have, too much autonomy they couldn't handle it. They needed structure.
So, okay, I like you hit a key word, structure. Go ahead, Zach, when you want to say something. This is our Sidrah, by the way, okay?
Adding to that, the structure and the mindset, see, because that's the main thing, the mindset. Because when you're in a society and you're not doing what you're structured to do, you start doing what they're doing, and then what we do is we do it worse. We do it worse. I mean, if it's wrong, we do the wrong worse. And then when we see right, there's only a few of us that's going to do it right, but the wrongs outnumber the rights. So therefore, everybody's going to be following the wrongs, just like in America. You think, look at our people here. That's like the people when we came out of Egypt. Cohen Levy, Sheikh's father used to say, he spoke to this guy in Harlem. He said, Cohen Levy asked him, do you want to go back to your land? He said, I'd rather be a lamppost in Harlem than the king of Timbuktu.
That's right.
See, that's the mindset of our people. And that's where we have mental problems. Our people really do have mental problems. Not only because of the Atlantic slave trade, but because of all the things that we have gone through in this land. Like he said, they just made that lynching law. But the thing about it is, that should have been a law.
Right.
That should have been a law. But see, that's how they disregard us as a people. That's why we have to raise up as a people and be more for the Most High. And that's when he turns back to us.
Right. So that's about it. Now, I'm going to get your hand. I just want to just say something, because my answer, what I had was the structure of the soul. The structure of the soul. Okay? Now, in today's portion, they talk about beams, sockets, and coverings, right? Now listen to me now, because I'm going more spiritual. To build the figurative temple within ourselves, we need to find what the beams, coverings, and sockets represent within our soul and dedicate them to the service of Yah. Now, what I did was I defined what a beam is. A beam is a long, sturdy piece of square timber or metal spanning an opening or part of a building, usually to support the roof or floor above. Now, what do the beams, the coverings, sockets represent on a spiritual level as it relates to our tabernacle, our physical makeup? Okay, now, the beam, socket. A socket is one endpoint of a two-way communication link between two programs running on a network. All right? The covering is a thing used to cover something else, typically in order to protect or conceal it. So now when you understand those definitions, now what do the beams, coverings, and sockets represent on a spiritual level as it relates to our tabernacle or our physical makeup? Think about it. The beams, something that supports, right? A building, right? What is it that supports, your mindset, your physical mindset? Think about it on a spiritual level. What you say?
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay. No, I want the answer. I want to know.
Well,
on a spiritual level, what would be the beam? What would be the spiritual beam of your physical makeup?
Your character?
Oh,
your physical being, your bones.
The laws of the Creator.
Well, on a spiritual level.
The
Character. Somebody else said something. You said
your being would be the Most High. Your being would be the Most High because he's supporting
your relationship.
Yeah.
Your relationship with the Creator, right?
Yeah.
Now, what would be the sockets? They said that's the one endpoint of two-way communication between your link between two programs running on a network.
That's your relationship.
That's your relationship still, right? And then the covering, a thing used to cover something else, typically in order to protect or conceal it.
That would be the Torah.
That would be the Torah. Because if you live by Torah, you'll be protected by everything else, right? So we got to understand that it kind of goes hand in hand, right? Your tabernacle, just think about this. The Creator told the children of Israel, he said, bring them gold, right? Bring all this stuff, pure gold, to bring it to a physical place, right? If the Creator made us, he made man. What do you think we should be putting in our tabernacle?
Gold.
Not gold so much, but what,
things of that level.
what should we be putting? Things to help us?
Things to
destroy us? Or things to make us be a healthy people?
To be a healthy people.
Things are worth.
Things that are worth so that we can, So now, Moray, can you, again, with this curse and this mental health, how do we go from, look, the three brothers with the suits, how do we go from this? Now, I'm not saying that this is our standard, but look at it. Look at his belt. Tight, right? You see anything wrong with that?
No.
He ain't about to say
That was probably me when I was young. Right? But look at it. Even in those days, they had some sort of class about themselves, right? They had some, what's the word I'm looking for? Decency. Right? So how do we go from this to that? How do
do we go from that to this? That's a prison mentality. You
Prison
know that, right?
mentality.
It is.
Right.
And it was more than just hanging themselves. It was more graphic than that. It was more graphic, but that's at another time. But how do we get from that to this?
Mindset.
Exactly. Mindset. So now, if you are a brother or a sister, how do you contribute to the service of Yah to speak to that young man about pulling up his pants? It's not just, pull up your pants, young man. It's more than that. It has to be more than that. First, you have to show him the history behind this and show him, like, listen, brother, do you know what, you always, because they're quick to tell you about the white man, the Lavan. But do you know that concept is started with the man or the white man beating us to death on our rear behind until we bled, and they would walk us around with us bleeding like that. That's where it all started from. And then it kind of transpired over into the jail with us not having a belt because they took it away from us.
So you wouldn't hang yourself.
So you wouldn't hang yourself, but really it started with, you got to give them a history of what happened. Not just say, pull up your pants. I know a lot of us I get disgusted when I see it, but that's how you have to now contribute to the service of Yah. It can't just be, oh, look at them. It has to be something more. If they're willing to listen, because nowadays you got to be careful who you talk to. It's a risk now that you're trying to help your brother, your sister. But in days to come, and in these days and times, Yah's going to give some of us the spirit to say, young man, let me talk to you for a minute. I can do it now in the jail because, I have detention officers outside in case they get crazy. But just imagine you pulling up, you just taking a risk, but something has to be done. Some things have to be said. You understand? Now, we transform because now as we coming back to this way of life, and Todah Yah for, so many men that help to, place some sort of standard in our nation. Then we went to, after understanding who we are, now, not so much who they are, but the style of clothing that they established for us, right? You have Cohen, Levy, and Maury Mishael. These men, as long as I can remember, every time you saw them, they were in their culture. They didn't care what. They would be. In the history behind this Cohane, when he first came into this way of life, my father, he saw the men from Ben Azakin, they were wearing long robes, right? And they would be out in the park praying, and he said, you can't go to court with a long robe like that. Because sometimes, back then, our brothers were going to court like every day. He said, there has to be a way where we can wear the Cohane and still be presentable. So that's why they shortened it. So that's how we came to be now wearing cotoneels at a length that is not so long. Because they back in the days, those brothers, they had long, when I say long robes, and then the tavulin. So he had to have a way, he said, let's look presentable so that when he went to court, the judge would look at him and say, can you take off your hat? This is a religious cap. Oh, okay. Don't be afraid to say that too. Because they don't have to make you take off your hat. Even when you go for your license, the other day I had to get my license, I had my keep on, he said, is that a religious cap? I said, yes, sir. I said, yeah, bring the waiver. I know the deal. I'm signing a waiver that I chose to keep my cap on, my kippah on. So this is what they had to go through. And for many years, going back before I was born, 1965 was when a Shabbat got started, but this is with the style of dress. And now, and I'm not saying that this has to be the standard because it's the standard because this is what we're used to. But we have to look presentable. That way people can take us seriously. Even on the interviews now. I've seen young men going on interviews now. It is so much different than when I was going on interviews. Now, we would have the shirt, the tie, I would have the whole suit. Somebody said to me that they don't wear like that anymore.
Right.
So what are you talking about? You can go in a shirt now, you can have high waters, dungarees, and you can just, I'm like, I just can't do it. I'm not doing that. I can't. Talk to me now.
It's not presentable.
Talk to me. Talk to me. Donnie, if I came in with high waters and shirt.
That's not right. It's the style now.
But is it acceptable for a child?
Yes. Yeah, I'm saying yes.
I don't, listen, the style I don't have a problem with, but when you're going for a job.
I was telling Kenya, like, at one point, like when my emo was doing interviews, like you had to wear pearls and like button down with a jacket. When I went for an interview, like after some time, it could be a little bit more relaxed. Like I could wear what do you call it, a cami under a jacket. It doesn't have to be like a button down.
Okay, I can go for that.
More relaxed. You didn't have to.
But the males though. What about the males?
That's part of the changing. It's changing.
Go ahead.
As long as they're put together, I think they're saying.
There's so much change that we wear nose boots to the interviews now. I may
Okay.
not wear a hoop, I may wear a post. Like
Well, you know what? I applaud that.
Hair in a bun. We used to have to wear our hair in a bun. You couldn't have locks. You would look real. They would look at you like, so yeah, time they have gone, I guess employers have gone along with the changes.
Okay, well, I applaud that. I mean, I just can't see myself doing it, but
Yeah, some would it, but the style and
yeah, I guess.
And they're looking for that new generation look. They want that in offices because they can target, it can appeal to all age groups.
Wow.
They don't want that old white man look. Nobody's doing that anymore.
Wow. Hey.
Shay?
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And Kenya and Danya are absolutely right. I got bumped from a job, and I know I was qualified for this job. Not to say that the young lady that was going wasn't qualified too, but I had on the suit jacket, the appropriate thing that I thought that you should go to interview on. Girlfriend had on the Saturday night party dress with the ripped stockings, and the silver platform toe out shoe. But she got the job. She got the job. It wasn't a night club. It was in a university, and that threw me off. I was really upset because outside, I know that I may have had the knowledge base to get the job, but I knew I was the appropriate look for someone who's coming to a university. But I got bumped by a disco queen, so I was done. But then I understand now that this is what the university may have been looking for. She fit the bill visually to bring in other students, the younger group, more than I, because people thought I was from the state board.
Right.
Okay. Let's give Kanani. Yeah, I see. Shabbat Shalom.
It reminds me of when I got out of high school, I tried to get a job at the bank, and I had grades, and they said I couldn't get the job because of that. It was something with the corporate rule, they said. And the brother that didn't give me the job was a Moray that came to the camp, Moray Raywell. He didn't give me the job. He gave my friend the job. He said, you can't come with grades, you have to loose out your ear.
See, that's where I come from. That.
And then now there are persons in the banks with locks and grades and fashion that gets changed.
I was going on interviews back in the 90s. I had my braids, and I would not get hired. Then I decided to cut my hair, something that I did not want to do. Cut my hair. Donnie, I don't know if you remember, Emo cut my hair the first time. And when I got that haircut, doors started opening. Now, it's changed. So I'm like, it just, but anyway. Hayafa and then King. Hayafa then King. Now, let's be mindful. We want to try to end out soon because I have a few more things I want to share with you.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I interview people now for the company for Go Kart.
You go, girl.
And most everybody comes with cap. Like they're not dressed for an interview. And one of the standards that the company has set forth, don't report this to Go Kart, was that I need to make sure that people are dressed the part. So they might just think, oh, this is just a driving job. I don't really have to dress the part. So I always put in my report that they presented themselves well. I don't say they came in t-shirts and things, but people are coming to interviews more or less. Me personally, I think that two things you should consider. I think regardless of what the job is, you should come looking appropriate.
Exactly.
Then you should look appropriate. But when there's a certain specific type of company, corporate company, you should go above and beyond. Days when I've gone on interviews, I've dressed the part, I've wore a suit, and then once I got the job, I came in with my head wrap. Once I asked the particular questions, is it against company policy to do X, Y, Z?
Right.
Can I, is there any rules about headwear or about wearing skirts? Or because even some jobs you can't wear a skirt, you gotta wear pants. So when you find out all those particular things, we can't be so. I wanted to use the word thirsty, but we can't be so like desperate to get a job that doesn't match our standard. Like, I'm not lowering my standard for the company. I'm gonna find out all the information. I need to have the faith and the trust that the job needs to fit my lifestyle. If they telling me I gotta work on Shabbat and I gotta do all these things, like, I'm not doing that.
Right.
So once I get the job and I get the understanding, I get the employee handbook, if there's nothing wrong with that, I'm coming in with my hair wrap, I'm coming in with my long skirt, all those things I'm doing.
Absolutely. Give it to Cohane. I wanted to show you something else too. Along the lines of, keep in mind, we're talking about our contribution to Yah. What can we do to help our people? What can we do to go beyond these four walls? Because there's so much that we can do. There's so many things that we should be probably be putting in place. Feeding the hungry. If we're not on the corner handing out pamphlets, you don't even have to be on the corner. You can just be having conversations with people. Do you know how many people that I speak to? Lavanim. Because the Creator didn't say that you limit your wisdom and your knowledge of what He gives you to just a certain people. There's Lavanim people that need help, Just like you said, Moray, you're right. And I find myself counseling them all the time. I counsel Lavanim couples when they come into the Uber for that 25 minutes. You'd be surprised. But that's what the Creator puts, that's my contribution. Now, you say to yourself, some people might have the mindset, they ain't Israelites. It's about just human beings. It's about being a humanitarian. Our service is to all humanity.
That's right. That's right.
I'm going to get Ken because...
To say what?
Did you say something? Do you have something? I thought you had your hand up.
No, she said she changed her mind.
Oh, you changed your mind. Okay. Go ahead. We're at the 2 o'clock mark, so our Sidrah needs to be ended soon.
I really think we missed the mark when we decide not to peep in the doors of other people. And when we say, like when Akh Amatziyah said, we need to be like Jehovah's Witnesses, and people kind of scurry away from that. There's so many standards and systems that have been set in place by these other religious groups that get them the funding, because it's not a selfish thing. Not every church or Christian organization or any other organization, Islamic organization, is about selfish gain. They really do have systems in place to help the people. Right. So I really think we do ourselves a disservice when we don't consider the things that they have in place. And also with the, we need to take in consideration that a lot of people are moving their churches or their way of life in front of the masses. Media, social media, television, all these things have a direct impact on the minds of people and how they conduct ourselves. If we continue to isolate ourselves, so to speak, where we're just really teaching to people in in these four walls and not really going out to reach the masses, then we're not going to grow. We're not going to grow as a people. We can't be competing with different camps on, trying to get other people.
It's beyond that.
It's beyond
that.
We really need to.
Our service to Yah has to go beyond four walls in this place and other places also. It has to reach, like you said, the masses. Our service to Yah has to be on a level where,
you're not just teaching and calling your brother that you know for 20-something years. I'm not saying don't call them, but there's other people that need this knowledge and wisdom for the first time, that they need to hear it for the first time. And that's what we have to start, working on. Our contribution, whatever it is, people need help. And not only spiritual help, but they need emotional help. I said it. They need financial help. Maybe we may not be able to help them financially, but we can show them and we can help them how they can probably get on a financial track to do better for themselves. Because I'm gonna tell you something. When the Creator, when you start doing things that are right and pleasing in the eyesight of Yah, He will bless you with more than what you have already. Just like Solomon. Solomon asked for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. He said, because you didn't ask me for that, I'm giving you gold and silver, I'm giving you all. That's what happens when we start to now try to help each other, help ourselves. I want to show this other video. Now, this is how we can contribute, because who is teaching these parents, these young parents?
No one.
It's just sad. Go ahead, Maureen. You know which one I want, right?
This body, 6-year-old.
This happened this week. I'm sure you all saw it.
The desert goes.
Okay, she's gonna come with us now.
Okay, fine.
Stand
Yeah,
up.
go with them, baby girl.
Stand up. Okay. Come over here.
What are those for?
It's for you.
Your hands, okay? Come over here, honey. It's not gonna hurt.
No, I want to die. No.
6 years old.
6 years old.
Let's go.
You're going to come pick you up, okay?
They fired him.
Come on, let's go.
Said she had a temper tantrum.
You can tell me what happened on the car, okay?
Why he had the handcuffs?
Yeah, that's what she did. I'm gonna talk about that. This was what happens when they feel that they are being disrespectful. If she spit on the teacher, kicked the teacher, having a temper tantrum, so this is the result. They feel is the result of why she did that.
But that's the
Oh,
law.
I agree. She would get a little smack or whatever.
But that's the law now. If you,
I
but
understand.
it's the law. It's the law. If you attack the teacher or a bus driver, they have the right to take you.
But let's finish watching the video. Where is she? First of all, this is my thing. This is my thing. We know all about the laws and what happened. But as Kenya said, there used to be a day and time, you call the parents, let the parents come and deal with her. And this is the other thing. Where is she learning that behavior from? Because if she's getting away with it at home, it will transfer over to school. Because my father always used to say, if you disrespect your father and your mother, then you're going to disrespect the teacher, the officer, whatever. So you got to understand what's going on at home. And I'm not saying that, that she should have been arrested. No, I don't feel she should have been arrested. Call the parents. Do something. Because she was calm right there. They obviously calmed her down, and the administrator there was reading a book to her. That's the time when the parents should come, and not a police officer. By the way, he got fired. They fired him. But go ahead.
That was my point.
He got fired.
I think
That was
she
excessive.
did, even for a student, it's okay. Even for a student who's
For the camera. For the camera. For the camera.
Yeah, I'm saying even for a student, like let's say they steal something or whatever, I think the officer should intervene. But for like a 6-year-old putting a handcuff on her, that was uncalled for.
Right.
I would have more put her in the vehicle and let her feel that, go through with the thing.
Yeah, but my point is, when he got to her, she was reading a book with the administrator.
She's already calm. Not to say that she can't still be reprimanded, but that was a time when if she's sitting there with the administrator, then the parents should be on their way instead of a police officer.
Exactly.
Before the police officer.
So again, Maureen.
Ken, it's just the It's just the whole thing they're doing. Shabbat Shalom. It's just it's just the whole thing they're doing, preparing you for prison.
Right.
Where that child now has a record. So
Right.
yeah, so that's how.
And I'm hoping that because he got fired, that it will be expunged, that she won't. But who knows? Okay. They didn't even. They said they didn't even put real handcuffs on. They put
zip ties.
Zip ties on.
Shabbat Shalom. I agree with what everyone is saying, yes.
Okay, now we,
That
not
child.
to interrupt, sorry to interrupt, but now we have to keep our comments really brief because now
Okay.
we're gonna end out on time.
Yes, everybody is correct. No, that child should not have been treated the way she was treated. But outside of it being an issue that could have come from home to give her the authority to think that she can do that to another adult, the law being passed that if you assault a school official, a teacher, or a bus driver, that can happen. But the bottom line is that parents, or we as adults, whether you have a child in school or not, we are not going to those school hall meetings. We are not going to those meetings that's telling them that we will not allow this type of behavior or this type of action against our children. And when we sit back and we don't say, and we don't vote, and we don't do what's appropriate to protect our children and even ourselves, then this is the result. Then we have to sit here and deal with the comments of others saying, well, see, that's just how they act. No, that's not how we act. But we're not out there saying that we're not going to tolerate that type of behavior to be bestowed upon our people. We're not doing it.
Yeah.
And we can see it every time an election comes up, every time there's a school board meeting. I've been to many school board meetings and I've seen a handful of us. And when something comes up and that's not befitting, I don't hear nobody screaming and yelling, talking about, no, we don't like this. No, we're not going to accept this. No one is doing it. So until we do it, forget trying to build a nation, just building each other up. Until we do that, then we're going to continue to see that type, right? We're going to continue to see that type of behavior being put upon our children. And it's sad. It is really sad because our children cannot protect themselves. They can't go in there and say, no, I don't like this. It takes us to go in there and say, no, we're not going to put up with it.
And as I said, today's topic is contribution. What is our contribution, like Rabbi Yafi is saying? What do we do to protect our children? How can we be the ones to go into these town hall meetings, these meetings or parent-teacher conferences, whatever you want to call it, to say, this is what, I remember that there was a time when we would send our children to the daycare, we would specifically tell them, listen, they are not to eat anything. They have lunches here. This is what they're to eat. They're not to have they're not to share with anyone. Please do not give them any pork. Please don't give them X, Y, and Z. All these things. This is how we contributed
to the upraising of our children when we had to send them to daycares. And so again, what is our contribution to help raise our own families and our children on an emotional state, a spiritual state, financial state, a physical state? What is our contribution? Just as I said, the structure of our soul, when we talked about Terumah and the building of the tabernacle, how are we going to build our tabernacle? What do we have to do to build out or rebuild our tabernacle? Because we've been destroyed for lack of knowledge. For real. Go ahead, Dawn.
Real quick, I was just going to say, also, I think that, not to say that the girls' parents are not involved, but I think if the teacher knew that the mother would handle it, or like if the child is constantly getting away with things like that, there's nothing to stop the teacher from saying the police is going to come get you, because I don't think your parent is going to handle it the way a parent should.
Right.
So just like if something happens with my children in school, the teachers know. Email. You can email me. You can call me. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna find out what happened. I'm gonna talk to the child. I'm gonna let the teacher know that I'm here. Same with the bus. I think last week somebody Yoel took a pencil out of his book bag, and the teacher had told him, the bus driver had told him the day before, don't take anything out of your book bag. The next day he had something out of his book bag. She took his name down. I went to that bus when they got off the bus, talked to Yoel, find out what really happened, and to let the bus driver know that if you let me know something, you send me a note, you call me if something happens. And I think that they'll be less quick
to call
Law enforcement.
right, that you're just gonna email, because I know the parent is gonna
Right.
make sure that I'm safe, and the children are
And a
behaving.
lot of times, the teachers know the character of the parents.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, they know your parents, you know better than that. So, yeah, go
I
ahead.
think the problem is, those parents that, like Donya's speaking of, the parent that she is, the percentage of parents
Yeah,
that.
very low. Very low.
Exactly.
Very low.
And what we saw in that video, with if you go through legal with the schools, there was a whole bunch of wrong there. First of all, you have to be 12 before you can do that.
Mhm.
She was little, so she shouldn't have been able to do that.
Right.
There were other things they should have been able to do. However, like what Donnie was saying, those kids are terrible.
Right.
They're kicking you, spitting you,
Oh,
cursing
yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah.
They know you can't touch them. They're
Right.
in your face. They go upside your head.
Mhm.
These little teachers, and they look on. You can look on videos and see how disrespectful they are. Then you call the parents, like Donovan said, and their response is, "What did you do to them?
Right.
Or what did you do?" So the teachers, in front of the kids,
Right.
So it's beyond voting. It's beyond. I agree that makes a lot of sense, but it starts in the home.
Right.
These kids are not being raised, they're just growing up and seeing whatever they see on TV, and the model is TV is babysitting them. They say what they want to say. I was in the classroom observing the other day, and the girl was like, "I'm not doing that." She told the teacher straight up. She said, "Oh, go to do whatever." And she said, "I'm not doing that." She followed her. "I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that." This is what you're dealing with all day.
Mental health?
What does it tell you?
Is it some of it mental health? Not all of it, Yafia.
It's not, no, it's some of it, you have some mental health issues, a lot of it is social emotional behavior issues that are being unchecked, and they're just growing up and becoming middle schoolers with it, high schoolers with it, and then parents with it, who shoot up the job or whatever, because they don't have any coping skills.
The other thing is, would you agree with me, and I'm not, I'm not trying to be offensive, but nowadays, you see that the parents are younger and younger.
That's right.
And so for them to have parenting skills, they don't have that.
Because they weren't raised.
My students in my classroom, I couldn't believe it. Maybe because I forget that I'm getting older. The guy told me, he said, "Oh yeah, my mother's 30.
Kids.
30.
30. I was like, now he's like 15, 16. So that means she had him when she was 16, 15. Kids making kids. They don't know they don't have a clue about, having children at that age. So now when your son or your daughter is 17 and you're only 32, they're looking at you like you my peer, really. But we got them. Go ahead, Maurice. Show the video. And I'm sure we all know this.
And behaviours associated with mental health conditions. Knowing these signs may
We're
help
talking
you,
about
your friends and
restructuring our
family,
soul.
or work colleagues break through the stigma surrounding mental health and start a discussion. Statistics have shown that 1 in 4 people will suffer with a mental ill health issue in any given year. This can be as high as 1 in 2 adults who are in debt. Over the past 25 years, anxiety and depression in teenagers has risen by 70%. Mental ill health covers a wide spectrum, from the worries and grief that we all experience, to severe depression or complete loss of touch with reality. Anxiety. We all experience levels of stress and anxiety, whether work pressures or family related. However, for some people, the feelings of anxiety can be prolonged and extreme, making it difficult to carry out simple, everyday tasks and can even cause panic attacks. Common signs to look out for when dealing with an anxious person include reduced concentration and memory, difficulty making decisions, become irritable and angry, and avoid certain situations. Depression. As with anxiety, most of us will experience ups and downs in our lives and during difficult times. If the low mood doesn't improve or go away, this can be a sign of depression. Someone suffering from depression can feel sad, anxious, guilty, angry, helpless, and hopeless. They may also have low self-esteem and a tendency to believe that others only see them in a negative light. account for are self-criticism and blame, impaired memory and concentration, neglecting responsibilities, and loss of interest in appearance and personal hygiene. Bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is a severe mood disorder and causes unusual fluctuations in a person's mood. People with this condition can find it hard to maintain relationships and jobs due to their extreme moods. They may lack focus or be unwilling to concentrate on what to you seems to be an important issue. People with bipolar disorder can be full of energy and talking very quickly, easily distracted, going off on unrelated tangents, lacking in energy, or feel sad, pessimistic, and hopeless. Schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a widely misunderstood and feared mental illness. People who suffer from schizophrenia do not have dual personalities, but are rather split from reality and may have delusions about themselves or others. These symptoms can have a major impact on the ability to hold down jobs, maintain relationships, and many other aspects of everyday life. People with schizophrenia may appear distracted by things that to you doesn't seem apparent. For instance, they may stop paying attention to another unheard voice, or even have a conversation with someone who isn't present. This can result in them finding it difficult holding a conversation while they are distracted with other thoughts. Obsessive-compulsive disorder. Obsessive-compulsive disorder, known as OCD, can be a very disabling condition. Feelings of anxiety are combined with obsessive and unwelcome thoughts that lead to compulsive behaviours. A common obsession is a thought that dirt and germs have contaminated them and find themselves needing to wash hands frequently to feel clean. Compulsions are repeated activities that a sufferer feels compelled to carry out, such as constantly checking that a door is locked. These can be challenging for a person when dealing with routine tasks and managing relationships. Other common obsessions that you might notice are repeating actions and becoming anxious if they are unable to do so, fixating on a number, washing and cleaning ritually. If you think you or someone you know has a mental health condition, you are not alone. Watch Your Mind is a local charity offering 3 main areas of support for mental ill health. You in mind.
That's not fair. Go ahead.
That's not fair. I know the video was kind of long and people probably got lost because of its length. But did anybody notice anything in particular about the video?
Yes.
What did you notice?
That they were mostly black.
All the emojis that they used for really bad stuff was black ones, right?
Right.
People of color, like we
Miss
want
you,
with
go
the
ahead.
problem.
The age thing, like I remember you saying, like, the
Come in
parents are
quietly,
getting younger and
boss.
younger. It reversed because there was a time where mothers were 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, like that was a norm for a time.
Right. It was.
But I don't think the age in and of itself makes the difference. It is still the mindset because the age in this generation may not make a difference because a 30-year-old with a mindset of those same 18-year-olds that were having children coming in the same way, because I've seen a parent who had gray hair and might have been 50 having the same bonnet on their head, walking in, grandmothers coming in like that. So
That's
it's
another
clear that the grandmothers raising the children, that their children had children, their babies were having babies, but the grandmothers coming in just as ghetto as they want to be, and it's scary. And I'm talking about first graders. A first grader did it to me this week, where I was like, well, I trust in the Most High, and I'll keep this job or won't. But you're not going to endanger everybody else because you're flipping out. They like threw books and stuff at the class, and I'm like, yeah. So I mean, as the assistant, I went in and just scooped them up and kindly walked out. Or you hear the kid yelling, "Put me down!" Jump. You know what I mean? Like you're up that high, and I'm not like restraining you to a point where you can't move. But I just scoop them up because you have 20 other people or 30 other people that you have to be mindful of. So The principal was like, just don't bring Ms. Young back, because he's the one who brought me in, knowing that I'm gonna do what I have to do to protect everybody, not just that one child,
Right.
even though we're trying to protect them too, and they don't
Okay.
even know from themselves.
Okay, last comment. How y'all feel?
Okay, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I really think that this was an excellent topic to bring forth about anxiety and depression and mental health. A lot of times people think that these things are beyond us because we serve the Creator, and it's not beyond us. I mean, we see even in the Tanakh where people have gone through different times of depression, and even King David, some of the Psalms that he wrote basically talked about him pouring out his spirit to the Most High, so about different things that happened to his life. We do know that a lot of mental health issues are trauma-based. Transparency, I deal with anxiety. I have anxiety right now. I woke up this morning with anxiety. Yesterday I was fine. This morning, but again, my anxiety is trauma-based. So when certain things come to me and people try to trigger those things, it's important as a community that we talk about healing from these particular traumas. And we don't have any systems in place to help us calm our spirits. It's not just about praying. There's other things that we need to do to help calm our spirits. Like for me, I had to use tea tree and eucalyptus. I had to put that in my shower. I had to breathe it in. I had to listen to praise music, to sing and to praise the Creator, because we don't do a lot of that. We don't have those kind of songs. I have to listen to different kinds of songs to let the Most High know that He is my all. So we don't have these particular things in place to heal us from traumas. It's good that we're talking about it, but how do we even cope with these different things?
Absolutely. Okay. Again, this particular portion that the topic that I want to deal with, that I wanted to deal with today, dealt with the structure of our soul. And a lot of times it deals with the mental health issue, the behavior and the character of some of our people in this day and time, and how we are going to be able to serve the Creator by not only helping ourselves, but also helping others as well. I'm going to end off by saying this. I mentioned to you, do you remember what was placed in the tabernacle in ancient days, right? We said what? Gold, silver, right? Beautiful things, right? Things that would, make the temple or the tabernacle to be really, really shiny, because it was, in fact, it was a golden box. You think about it. It was rectangular, it was a golden box. Think about what you put in your own house. You like nice things. I know everyone likes nice things, right?
You like the TV. They have so many inches TVs now, it's ridiculous, It can cover a whole wall now. You can watch the TV. The couches, the furniture, whatever it is, you like nice things, you put it in there, right? Now think about it on this level in terms of our own bodies, our physical makeup. What do we put in our bodies, right? So we have to be careful the things that we eat, right? The things that we put in our own bodies to destroy them, because a lot of people are being destroyed because of the things that they're eating, the things that they're abusing. Maury, you have a picture of, we're just speaking about we know we don't eat kazir, the pork, but our people, most of our people, they are still eating these things, and they think that it's a delicacy, but they don't understand that there are health risks of eating pork. All of these things, you can look at it. Go ahead to the next slide. Now, I'm not saying that, when your doctor asks you, do you drink, and what's your question? What's your answer? On occasion, right? On occasion, But we cannot abuse. We cannot abuse a little, sip of wine or spirits or what have you. The cigarettes. needles and, well, you know what that is, you know?
That's sugar.
All of these things. Listen, I went to my uncle's house one day, and he had a tray full of pretty much narcotics. I mean, all of these bottles of medicine, and I was like, Uncle, like what is all of this stuff? Oh, that's for my blood pressure. That's for my this. This is for this and this. It's ridiculous. How do we have to do better to for ourselves. You know, I was telling Maureen this morning. I remember that there was people that died. There was a lot of family members died because they took drugs or whatever. Just imagine if they were still alive. They could still be alive if they had not abused the drugs and what have you, or the alcohol, or what have you. I mean, we have to be better caretakers of our own bodies, and our temple. This is what it is. If the Creator, like I said, you said it, if we put gold and silver into a tabernacle, a physical plate, what are you doing to this body, to this temple? What are you putting in here? I'm not saying for you to eat gold and eat silver, but you got to eat the best of the best so that we can live longer and live healthier lives.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. We're going to take up this topic at another time, because I'm not done. We got to definitely restructure our soul, and we have to rewire our brain. That's another topic as well. So blessed be the name of the Most High for your participation.
Hallelujah.
Look unto the Creator. This afternoon we have a full afternoon of Black History. We have a presentation by one of the Bano on Black History. So please come back and enjoy yourselves, and let's finish out the day together. And tonight we have a small treat. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You got to come. You got to be here to know what it is. All right? Hallelujah. Yibarekka Yehovah wa yishmarecha. Ya'ir Yehovah panayu alecha v'chunecha. Yisa Yehovah panayu alecha v'yasim lecha shalom. Yehovah bless thee and keep thee. Yehovah cause his face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yehovah lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Hallelujah. 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 So what we're going to do, if you leave the sanctuary quickly, let's come back at 4 o'clock. All right? Enjoy yourselves. Have a nice, peaceful day. Remember, it's the Shabbat day. Please keep it holy. Let's come back at 4 p.m. sharp. That's it there? That's it there. Toda Arba. Shabbat Shalom.
Can I cut it off now?
No.
How does it say only 18 minutes?